Hi, thank you for joining me. Please go ahead and find a comfortable seat on your mat. If you can, instead of crossing your legs in the same direction that you always cross them, try to cross them in the opposite direction, placing the opposite leg, the one you're not used to, on top. Allow the skin to just kind of come up and away from underneath the sit bones, so you can root the sit bones into the ground, and just allow the hands to relax on the legs or lap here. I want to make sure that the shoulders aren't rounding forward, so just really keep the elbows kind of close to body, hands relaxing somewhere. You might allow the eyes to stay open or closed. And on your next inhale, really make sure that the belly is filling with air, so rising, expanding, allowing the air to come from the belly and fill the bottoms of lungs all the way to the upper chest. And on the exhale, the air slowly releases, smoothly and evenly. You're breathing in and out through the nose, if possible, and keeping a nice, even pace of breath. So you'll breathe in through the nose, the belly will rise. You'll breathe out through the nose, air releases smoothly. Just find a comfortable pace, taking a few equal part breaths. After you exhale next, just inhale, lift that gaze, opening the eyes if they're not, and press the palms together. So just take a moment to notice what it feels like to press the palms together. Notice how firmly or how gently you're pressing. Notice the palms, the pressure, fingertips, knuckles, maybe the warmth in between the hands. And then just release both palms to your sides. Plant the right palm into the ground, give a little bend to the right elbow. Inhale the left arm open skyward overhead. You can keep the gaze ahead or up to the left hand. You're anchoring through both hips. Full breath in and out, take 3. Lengthening left side of body, one more inhale. And on exhale, float the left hand back down to the ground. Root through the left hand, bend the left elbow. Inhale, right arm overhead. 2 more breaths. Grounding through right hip, 1 more. And on your exhale, float the right hand back down to the ground. Send both arms up on inhale. And then exhale, both palms back to heart center. Take a full breath in and out. On your next inhale, lift the shoulders, roll them up and back towards the spine. Bring both palms together, interlacing all 10 fingers, grabbing a few fingers or the forearms. You're finding an expansion chest here. Inhaling to fill. Exhale to fold, upper body towards the ground, hands towards the sky. Inhale up, lifting upper body, fill. Exhale on the fold. Inhale, lift and fill. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift once more, send the arms all the way overhead. And exhale, both palms back to heart center. Full breath in and out. Go ahead and just plant the palms in front of you and find your way over to a tabletop position. Allowing the knees to come underneath the hips, the wrists to be underneath the shoulders, palms pressing to the mat, all 10 fingers pressing to the mat. You can keep your toes curled under or tops of feet to the ground. I prefer tops of feet to the ground. Make sure here that the belly's not sinking down. You want to keep the belly nice and strong and kind of parallel to the ground. Just keep your gaze at the top of the mat. Back of neck is nice and long. Try to lengthen head to toe or frontwards, backwards. Take one more inhale, lengthen head to toe. Exhale smoothly. And just walk the knees back a little bit until eventually you can allow the upper body to come to a straight position at about a 45-degree angle. Fingers are facing forwards or pointing forwards. Shoulders are over the wrists. Belly's pulled into the spine to protect the back. Gaze is at top of mat. You're taking 3 more breaths. Modified plank. On your exhale, keep the elbows close to the body and just come all the way down to the belly here. Roll the shoulders up and back into the spine. Hug the elbows in, lift on inhale. Exhale, upper body comes back down to ground. Inhale to lift. Exhale, back to ground. Inhale, shoulders roll up and back. Exhale, back down to ground. Inhale, lift one more time. Shoulders roll up and back. Squeeze inner thighs together. Lengthen head to toe. On the exhale, curl the toes under and press the hips back towards downward facing dog. So hips are coming away from the hands. Might keep a really nice healthy bend to the knees here since the legs aren't warm yet. Make sure the pressure is really even through both palms. And again, you're trying to find length in the back and the arms. Hips press away from the hands. Take a few even breaths. If your mat is a little slippery, you can kind of press into the fingertips for a bit more traction. On your next exhale, make sure the knees are bent. Look ahead and just take a few steps back towards the top of your mat here. Keep a nice bend to the knees. Allow the upper body to just relax or hang over the lower body, relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe swaying a little bit side to side. And then as you come back to the center, bring the hands to shins, press into the shins, lift halfway up, looking ahead. Exhale to fold, head softens to shins. Inhale, you might keep a bend in the knees as you rise all the way up to standing, lifting the palms and gaze. And exhale, send palms back to heart. Plant through the heels, lift on inhale, both arms and gaze. Exhale, bend from the hips to fold forward. Hands to shins, lift halfway, flat back, look ahead. Inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to a plank position, one foot, then the other. Pressing the heels away from the head this time. Shoulders over the wrists. Take a long breath. Inhale, one more breath. And exhale, just press the hips away from the hands, downward facing dog. Make sure the shoulders are not creeping up to the ears. You want to have some space. Relax the head and neck. Even breath. 2 or 3 more. On the next exhale, bend the knees, look ahead. You can step or walk towards the top of mat. Hands to shins, press halfway up on inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, find a slow rise to come to standing. Lift all the way up. Press through the heels, look up. Exhale, send palms to heart center. Inhale, root through the heels, look up. Exhale as you fold forwards. Lift hands to shins, halfway up. Look ahead on inhale. Exhale, plant the palms. This time, step the left foot back. Soften the left knee down to the ground, untuck the toes, and keep the right knee over the ankle as you inhale both arms skyward. So a low lunge here, making sure that front knee is over the ankle and that there's a nice stretch in the left hip here. And contract the inner thighs together, try to relax the glutes a bit. Make sure that chest is nice and open. Shoulders softened, away from the ears. On the exhale, release both hands to frame that front right foot. Curl the back toes under. Press back to downward facing dog. Hips away from hands. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, bring the left foot forward. Soften down to the right knee. Untuck the right toes. Left knee stays over the left ankle. Stretch in front right hip this time. Inner thighs contract together, arms lift, relax the glutes and shoulders. Take 3 more breaths. On the exhale, release hands back to the ground, curl the back right toes under, press back hips away from hands, downward facing dog. On the exhale, bend the knees, look ahead, return back to the top of mat, lifting halfway on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find a rise to standing. Press through the heels as you lift, and exhale, sun palms to heart center. So we'll take a step to the top of your mat. Make sure you have plenty of space. 1 step back with let's do left foot first, so stepping the left foot back. You'll keep the right toes facing forwards, and the left foot is going to be parallel to the short side of your mat here or the wall that's behind you. So opposite directions. Right toes face forwards, right knees directly over the ankle. If you've taken a step too far back, feel free to shorten the stance. You want to make sure that the front right heel is in line with the middle of the back foot or the arch of the back foot. So again, feet are sort of perpendicular here. You also want to make sure that as you look forwards over that front right knee, that you can see your 2 big toes. You don't want the knee to be wavering too much to one side. Here you're trying to use the inner thighs to kind of, or quads, to roll the thighs or hips open towards the ceiling. And then when you're ready, you'll send both arms into a T. Really nice strong arms reaching forward and back, gazing over the front arm. Front middle finger if you can. If that's not comfortable, gaze down at the ground. Notice if your knee has shifted, try to keep it over the ankle. And then you also want to ground through the outer edge of that back left foot. So you're grounding through the left foot, you're lengthening all the way through right fingertips as you gaze ahead. Take 2 or 3 more breaths. You might feel some warmth in that front thigh. And when you exhale, just release the hands on your inhale, straighten that front leg. And then one more time on the exhale, just bend the front knee, send both hands cartwheeling onto the top of your mat. Plant both palms and take a step back so your body's in that plank position. Shoulders over the wrists, feet are at the back of the mat, pressing heels away from the head. On your exhale, you're going to soften down both knees to the ground, untuck the toes, that 45-degree angle. Keep the elbows nice and close to the body as you exhale all the way down to the belly. Shoulders roll up and back into the spine, elbows stay close as you inhale, lifting chest. Exhale, float back down to the ground. 2 more times on your own. Inhale, lift. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale, lift, chest comes up, and exhale, curl the toes under, send the hips back towards downward facing dog. On your exhale, bend the knees and look ahead, take some steps or 1 step to the top of mat. Bring hands to shins, lift halfway on inhale, look ahead. Exhale to release, head towards shins. Inhale, find a rise up to standing, lengthen, lift, and exhale, send palms to heart center. So opposite side, see that from the other angle. Take a large step back with the right foot. Again, it can be a small step or a big step. Left toes face forward, left knee stays over the ankle. Right toes or right foot is perpendicular. So front left heel is in the same line as that back right arch. Trying to use the quads or muscles in the thighs to roll the hips open to the ceiling here. So you're not internally rotating, but you're opening up Legs towards the ceiling, and you can send the arms to a T. You're grounding through back right edge of, or outer edge of right foot, and lengthening through left fingertips. Gazing again, if you can, at the front left hand or the ground, making sure that left knee is stable over the ankle, and if you look down, you can see the first big toe or two. 3 breaths. On the exhale, just release the hands. On the inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the left knee. Send the hands in a cartwheel to the top of the mat. Press to the palms. Bring both feet to the end of the mat. Plank position. Heels press away from the head. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the hips away from the hands. Arms are nice and long in the same line as spine. Take one more long breath in and out. And then exhale, bend the knees, look ahead, and return however you need back to the top of mat. Press up halfway on the inhale. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you come up just standing, lift the palms and gaze. And exhale, send palms to heart. So we'll step back to the top of your mat or space. Take one more step back with the left foot this time. And this time you're going to keep both legs straight. The front right toes are facing directly forwards. And instead of the back foot opening all the way so it's parallel to the short side of your mat, you're going to bring them to about a 45-degree angle. We'll send, again, both legs straight, so front right toes to the top, back left foot 45 degrees. Arms will come open to a T, so your body's in a nice lateral line here. You're going to lift the crown or top of head up to the ceiling on inhale. On exhale, you're reaching the right hand away from you towards those right toes as you exhale, releasing right hand to right shin. So many of you might be able to come a bit further, maybe touch the ground. If you notice, though, that when you touch the ground, or if you can, that your butt starts to stick out, you're losing the sort of integrity of the pose here. So the best, most ideal place to keep the hand is on the shin just below the knee. If you can't make it there, maybe it's on the thigh above the knee. Either way, that left arm is open as much as you can to the ceiling. Helpful for balance to keep the gaze down. You're contracting the inner thighs towards each other. Opening the left shoulder. And sending the head away from the hips here. Lengthen the torso, making sure there's lots of space for air in the chest. Take 1 or 2 more breaths. Triangle pose. On the exhale, give a bend to that front knee. Just release the arms as you come up. Inhale, straighten that front leg. And then to keep it simple, we'll just rotate around. So you're going to bring the right toes in so they're at 45-degree angle. You'll bring the left toes out so they're facing the back of the mat or your space. You'll make sure that the left toes again are facing directly forwards, that the body is really nice and lateral here. So you don't want the hips to face forwards, rather towards the side of your mat. Send the arms open to a T. Lift on inhale through top of head. Exhale, send left hand away from you, reaching away as it slowly lowers down again, ideally to that left shin just below the knee. Want to make sure that you're not allowing that butt to stick out or the upper body to come forwards or round. You might imagine that there's a door right in front of your body and a door right behind your body, and you have to stay as lateral as possible in between those 2 doors. So inner thighs contract towards each other, gaze can stay down for balance. If you're balanced, by all means, you might look up. Head travels away from the hips to lengthen the torso. A few long breaths. Looking for length, stretch on the right side of body. And then on your exhale, just release the hands. Give that left knee a little bend just as you inhale to protect it. And we'll just switch the feet back to the front again. So this time we'll try warrior one. So the feet are going to stay exactly the same as they are. The right toes facing forwards once more. This time the right knee will bend over the right ankle. The back toes stay the same at that 45-degree angle. So the difference between warrior two, where your foot is nice and open and parallel to the short side of mat, means that the hips are open towards the side, and warrior one, where the foot or toes are facing forwards, the hips are facing forwards. So the main difference is in the hips there. You want to make sure, now that your right knee is stable over the right ankle, that that right hip is really pressed back. So you're really trying to turn the hips forward as possible. You might start to get uncomfortable for the back leg, so if you need, you might allow the back toes or back left foot to face forwards a bit more. You're really looking for a stretch in that front left hip. Trying to keep the balance nice and centered, engaging those pelvic muscles, pulling the belly into the spine, lifting the arms when you're ready. Again, if you gaze down, you want to see the first few toes of the right foot. And you want to make sure as the arms are up that you're not cinching or squeezing the shoulders up to the ears. They're relaxed here. The shoulder blades kind of come down and in towards the spine. Take 2 more breaths. And exhale, just bring both palms in front of heart. Just take a few pulses and bring the body up, back up to standing. Just give the legs a little wiggle or shake. Take it through a vinyasa here as we have in the beginning to warm up. So press through the heels. Send both arms up on inhale. Exhale, bend from the hips to fold forwards. Hands conditioned, lift halfway, look ahead. Exhale, plant the hands. Take a step back to the plank position. Shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, soften the knees down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Keep the elbows close as you exhale down to the mat. Inhale, lifting chest. And exhale, curl the toes under. Come back to downward facing dog. So just a little different. This time we're just going to step the left foot forwards in between both hands. Feel free to assist that leg forwards. You're going to drop the right heel down so the right foot or toes are at a 45-degree angle. And keep that left knee over the ankle as you come up here. So again, you're making sure left toes are forwards, back right toes are at a 45-degree angle. Different from before in warrior two, where the hips were open to the side and the foot was flat. Foot faces forward and toes face forward 45 degrees, and hips instead rotate or face forwards, bringing that stretch in the front right hip this time. Again, you can use the fingertips to gently press that left hip back. When you're ready, everything is engaged. Pelvic muscles, belly pulled in. You can lift arms, relaxing the shoulders. Take a few long breaths. On your exhale, palms are going to release again. You just take a few pulses forward to the top of mat and give the legs a little wiggle. So I hope that cleared up any questions you might have about moving through sort of modified vinyasa or working on warrior two or triangle warrior one pose. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.